Hi, my name is Kristen and my practice is Well Balanced, and this is one of my very best friends in the entire world. Her name is Leslie, and we've been friends since 14 years old. I want to talk for her to talk today about her passion about gems and rocks and crystals. And really, both of us came from a very conservative Christian background, and we honor that this takes nothing away from God. What we love about this is from God, and rocks are from God, and the elements and the energy that the rocks have are just a beautiful tool that God has given us for healing. And in my practice, Leslie has been one of my key supporters for stones of protection. I wore a bracelet she made me, and I always wear her jewelry when I'm doing my practice. As I traveled through my practice and I saw there was so much healing to be done with the clients, but also that I didn't absorb all the grief and the trauma that people were going through, she has really educated me and prepared me to armor myself, not only with my prayers, but also with some great energy surrounding me with the intention that they will protect. So Leslie, go ahead and talk.
Well, growing up in Arizona, we used to go rock finding. My parents were kind of rock hounds, and we would go look for geodes, and I always had this fascination with rocks and crystals and gems, but I never really understood what the affinity was, and seeing that they have healing powers, I always kind of poo-pooed it and thought it was kind of too woo-woo. But what I'm understanding now is that the universe is all about energy. It's electrons and protons and neutrons, and everything vibrates at a certain frequency. And so that is how these gemstones come into the healing properties. And even though the ancient peoples didn't know about electrons and the different vibrations, they picked up on it intuitively. And now that we aren't as intuitively driven these days, it's coming back into our society, and people are becoming more aware. So the idea of these gemstones, I brought a few, is that they resonate with a certain frequency that helps to promote a certain mood or whatever you need help with. So when you set your intention and you use the gemstone, you wear it, you have it in your home, it helps to enable that frequency to be cleared and vibrate more freely. So this big giant one, this is an amethyst. Amethysts, they connect with the crown chakra. As a general rule, you can look at the different colors of the stone, and it usually relates to the particular chakra that the color of the stone represents. So this is the beautiful purple. It resonates with our crown chakra. It helps to make us more attuned with the universe. It helps to open our third eye. It helps us to be more spiritual in our approach to life. We have citrine, this yellow one. Citrine is kind of a similar configuration to amethyst, but citrine is a very powerful stone when it comes to setting intentions and manifesting your dreams. It's a very powerful stone for that. I have some rose quartz here. Rose quartz is very popular. You see it in a lot of jewelry. Rose quartz is the mother of all crystals for love and promoting self-love and romantic love and love for your family. I brought this Native American necklace. We've seen turquoise used a lot. And turquoise is a grounding stone. It helps you to be centered and calm and back to the roots of our earth. Even pyrite is known as fool's gold. Pyrite it's a real mineral, and it does help to bring wealth and financial health to your life. I have some smoky quartz. Smoky quartz is excellent for clearing the environment. If you put it by your computer, it helps to protect you from the electromagnetic waves. I have an Apache tear. An Apache tear is a form of obsidian, and it has a legend behind it of the Apache Indian tribe, and the men of the tribe ended up getting killed in a battle, and the women of the tribe cried these tears, and they went into the soil, and they became the Apache tear. So Apache tear, being black, it absorbs the negative energy. It's a great stone for absorbing grief. It's really very powerful. And if you do use an Apache stone, you want to make sure that you clear it, you wash it to wash away that grief. So you can just put it under running water and just watch those tears go away. There's many ways of using stones. This is called selenite. And selenite, you see them sometimes in towers. They're kind of carved. It's a very soft stone, and you can put a light. Selenite is a clearing stone, and it's also used to clear the energy of these stones, because stones can kind of pick up energy from other things. There's different ways of having these stones. I have this really beautiful labradorite, and I have a ring with labradorite. You can hold these stones. You can wear stones. A lot of people have these polished stones, and if they're feeling a certain need for a certain energy, they might put a couple of these in their pockets or put them close to their bed when they're sleeping. There's all sorts of ways of using stones, and they have all sorts of properties, and I'm just touching on a few.
Wow. I feel like I learned a lot just listening, and yet I know we can do more of these just to kind of impart wisdom. I mean, again, this well-balanced channel is about teaching you all self-healing techniques and ways and tools that you can use to comfort yourself in times of trials and troubles, and also just in manifesting things and in bringing pure intentions into your life. I do want to talk really quickly about the Apache tear, because Leslie and I have a really good friends that lost their son not too long ago. And we both, weirdly, at the same time felt like, remember that? We were like, we need to give them some stones and some necklaces and stuff. And so I reached out to Leslie and I said, could you please make them some necklaces and maybe the Apache tear stones for their grief? And then she goes, you were thinking the same thing. And so again, that's the universe speaking through us. So the neat thing about this Apache tear is now that we gave it to our friends, and we were both like, I hope they I hope they don't think we're weird, or I mean, we believe in all this stuff, and we believe that we have tools available that have energetic properties, and we don't never want to assume other people would feel that way, but they were so receptive. And when they were in such deep grief, for them to have these stones kept by their beds, and Leslie wrote this beautiful description of the stones and what they do. And so I then started to use them after she gave me a couple and some necklaces. And as I feel led with my clients who are going through severe trauma and grief, the other day I had a woman who, her trauma was off the charts. Like, I didn't have words for all the things that were coming out intuitively that she had gone through in her life. And I just gave her a stone, and I had her hold it as she's crying and crying. And as we're unpacking her journey through the intuitive healing, I forgot she had the stone. And afterwards she opened her hand and she's like, you might want to wash this. And I said, yes, that's exactly what you have to do. You have to wash this. And so, and then other times I had a client who was dealing with deep grief of losing 2 children. And so we put the stones on the client, and just with the intention for that to calm and heal. And I do believe our intentions, like Leslie said, are everything. That's the prayer of our hearts. That's sending it out to the universe, and that we are given these tools. And so for me now, because of Leslie, I feel so protected. Like, it's so funny, before I go to work, I'm like, whoop, put on my labradorite, right?
Yeah,
and that was
this one.
I have a huge necklace.
Yeah, and this is very much for protection, and it's also kind of just to keep your spirit elevated, but to protect you from other energy dragging you down.
Yeah. So it's so nice. And then I always remember what she says, to talk a little bit about clearing them in the moonlight, because I kind of forget to do that, but I do want to.
So especially during the full moon, apparently the way the energy is, if you can bathe them in moonlight, it will clear the energy and clear the things that they may have absorbed. Selenite is also a good stone if you don't have a full moon coming by anytime soon. If you place your stones on a piece of selenite, that will also clear the energy. But you have to be careful about sunlight. Some rocks you can put in the sun, and that also clears energy. But for something like the amethyst, it'll make it turn yellow. So you don't want to. Some of them are really sensitive to direct sunlight, especially here in Arizona. So, yep. And saging them, you could sage them to clear their energy as well.
Yeah. And I was just thinking as you were talking, when we just came back from Hawaii, and every morning we would go out on the ocean and the rocks and put our bare feet on the rocks and just sit and meditate and pray, but also to absorb the earth's energy, and that also helps with inflammation. And so not only just holding rocks, having rocks around, but actually putting your feet on the earth. We are meant to be connected to the earth. We are meant to have that energy come through us. And I think, I'm always so like, oh, my knees feel good. Oh, my, this doesn't hurt, or whatever, achy arthritis things I have. And after 2 weeks of doing that every day, I remember telling Leslie, like, gosh, my knees feel really great. And then I watched that movie Earthing.
Yes.
And so, we need to honor Mother Earth and what she's given us and what God's given us through the earth. And know that, again, we have so many tools to help us navigate our dark times. So any final words you want to say, or?
Well, if there are dark times, there are specific stones that help to alleviate depression. This is a form of jasper. I think it's called tiger jasper. I don't know if you can see it, but you can wear these as jewelry. You could keep them in your pocket. There's, even like tiger eye. I don't know if you can see that. Tiger eye is a really wonderful stone for communication, and especially between families if there's stress or lack of communication. So there's a whole variety. You can look up all their meanings online. If you're buying the stones, you want to make sure you're buying from a reputable source, because there are a lot of fake companies out there saying that you're buying labradorite and it's really not, or you're buying something, so you just want to make sure you're buying from a reputable website or store, and you know what you're buying, and set your intentions and see how they can affect your life.
Yay, thank you. Have a great day.